night, just another day. Waiting for the sun to shine in vain. Welcome to my world, yeah. This is my broken world. The silent whispers of the frozen air. It's dragging me deeper into despair. Someone set me free. Get me out of this treasure lair. All the time, all around. It's not a light, I'm not a sound. I close my eyes, I'm crying out. And never ending, it's a never ending winter. This motherfucking frozen landscape I struggle to ignore. Deep weight on my chest, I won't ever let go. Welcome to my world, yeah. This is my broken world. The silent whispers of the frozen air. It's dragging me deeper into despair. Someone set me free. Get me out of this treasure lair. Winter. All the time, all around. It's not a light, I'm not a sound. I close my
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PLE Patrol for NXT No Mercy. You got Chris Bass, Chris Parrish, and OMD, who is still muted and probably hears the tunes. How's it going, Parrish?
I'm doing well. A little quick here, but yes, we all were under the impression we were starting an hour later, and then we weren't.
You know what it was that clued me in that we were on at that we were actually on at 7.
The fact that it said 7.
Knowing that OMD was in StreamYard and he made the Raw preview review show.
So him being on the ball doing something for tomorrow clued you in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
OMD, do you still have the music?
Spied on my rage. He's still just confused in a cage.
There we
he
go.
is.
It's finally ended.
That's what she said.
That song kept interrupting about every 5 seconds.
Oh.
Well. Early predictions for your match of the night, boys. Let's what do you got?
I'm going with the tag team title match: Chase U versus Frazer and Axiom.
I'm going to go with Jaida Parker versus Roxanne Perez.
I'm actually not going with Joe Hendry and Ethan Page. I think
It's lost faith in his boy.
I'm actually going with Parrish and saying Jaida Parker and Roxanne Perez as well.
Boring.
You know, I can understand that, but there's just something. Jaida Parker just hasn't shown me enough, and she doesn't do anything for me. I don't see why she's even in this match,
Well, she won the number 1 contendership.
other than the fact that she's got a big ass.
Dear God, you had to go there. You couldn't just
I
go with
did.
statistical information. By watching the product, you had to go and body shame.
I'm not saying that there's a bad thing in her having a big ass, but
Maybe Jaida Parker says that about the PLE Patrol. She's like,
Maybe
I'm
she
not an
does.
OMD fan because he's a big ass.
but
And that's how I save it. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't do watch-alongs on YouTube. Oh, number 1 contendership. Really? You just oversaw that whole thing. You went straight for the gluteus maximus.
Yeah, dude, I fed you the bait. You should have taken it hook, line, and sinker.
yeah, but
Come on, OMB. I thought you were into hookers.
she shouldn't have even won that number 1 contenders match. She's not there. Like, she's not. I don't find her talented enough.
And this coming from the guy who a couple weeks ago said he saw Jaida Parker taking the win over Sol Ruka.
I don't even remember that.
You did say that.
Oh my God.
Because you called Solruka a jobber.
That's why I have alcohol, people. This is why I drink.
And we're beginning with a tag team title action. This is the match that OMD made the early production would be match of the night.
Certainly not the way I expected them to start off, but I'm excited for it.
I'm not going to lie. I would have started off with the North American men's title match.
Yeah, I think I would have went that way as well.
Because there's only the one tag match, right?
Yeah,
so
this is true.
Honestly, I probably would have started with Wentz and Wes.
I think I would have been okay starting off with that match as well, actually.
Champ you. Now, okay, I just thought of something. Everyone is wearing Chase You except for two people that are wearing Champ You. Should people who only have titles be allowed to wear the Champ You shirts? I think so.
I would have to agree with that. Because Thea's not a champ. Duke's not a champ.
Unless the champs are representing Chase U and Chase U is representing Champ U. Unless that's how they're going along with it.
Mm-hmm. And the reason I didn't quite go with this match is I'm still not exactly sold on Andre Chase as a wrestler.
No, neither am I, but I am sold on Chase U as a group.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to be flat out said. I am a fan of just about everyone in the group. I think Thea Hale is a very underappreciated talent in the female division. Yes. I think Ridge Holland is gigantically blamed for things that really aren't his fault in terms of situational scenarios. I think Andre Chase is amazing in his microphone abilities and his promo skills backstage. And if he was more of a manager said mouthpiece said advocate, kind of like what Chad Gable is minus the in-ring thing, then yeah, I would be 100% into that. And then you have Riley Osborne, who I think is a future champion. And I think we have sorry, I'm watching Celebration. But then we have good old Duke there, who I think is very much someone that people just look over.
Basically stated everything I think about Chase U as well. Because I've been saying this for a little while now, but I feel like Andre Chase is better off as a manager.
See, and a couple of weeks ago, Best, you said that you weren't sold on his promo work.
No, I said I wasn't sold on his in-ring. I remember that.
No, you did say you were not sold on his promo work because I like his promos better than his in-ring. But he is coming a long way. I'm with Chris as far as with Parrish as far as Thea Hale goes. I completely agree on Ridge Holland. Riley Osborne, again, I haven't seen enough to say one way or the other. And Duke Hudson has basically become the new probably the new Mikey from the Spirit Squad. And he's sort of been limited in his in-ring time and just being left out there as a cheerleader.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, where are you going with this? Because Mike Mondo was a fantastic wrestler before he retired.
So
no, but he did specify what role he was talking about, and we can pretty much all admit that I don't think that role really suited him.
Oh, no. I mean, I believe it was actually Nick Nemeth that came out and said that the Spirit Squad was built to push Kenny. So,
oh yeah, well, I think that was obvious, as he was the one getting the majority of the single matches. He was the one getting the majority of the single pushes, like individual push. He was part of the tag team that held the title because I wanted to make sure he held the title. So yeah, it was very obvious. He's the one who had the push outside of the Spirit Squad first, but I mean, just because he's the company guy doesn't mean he is the people's guy, as we all know. Now, I do think we're going to see Chase U retain the titles tonight, as I did say in the Chris Parrish podcast earlier today, which I've been battling over predictions for this show for the last 3 weeks, and I know some things kind of altered, but, you know, you say one thing, then you start thinking of things, certain things happen, and then you kind of look at things a different way. But I do think this is the time where maybe Axiom and Nathan Frazer try to reclaim. They don't, and it just boils down to a part. They've been working together or working towards a split for so long. I can't see them being a tag team after tonight.
No.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out how we're going to split them after this match. Even on Tuesday, I said maybe they just go their separate ways, and that's that. But as I'm watching Nathan Frazer here and just just his look overall, he looks to me like he should actually be a member of the No Quarter Catch Club. But going from team to team, I kind of want to see Nathan Frazer out on his own.
Yes. On Tuesday, I had Chase U retaining. I had Nathan Frazer turning on Axiom. They get that feud. I think we see Nathan Frazer debut in the Royal Rumble to come and work alongside Seth Rollins.
See, I don't think Nathan Frazer is ready for a main slot yet. I think if I'm comparing them to, say, somebody like a Roxanne Perez, I think Roxanne Perez is miles ahead in her development right now. And I see why people would say, well, look at Nathan Frazer in the ring. And my counter is, look at Frazer outside of the ring. And that is what's going to make or break him on the main roster. It's not his in-ring matches. You'll get more in-ring time in NXT than you will on the main roster. And I know that has been changed in the last little while under the new era. But he still needs to deliver on the backstage promos. If he's going by Seth Rollins, he is absolutely tested at one of the best in the business, not just the company, but the sport of professional wrestling. So that's why I do not think he is in the right shape. I do think if maybe you take Nathan Frazer, maybe not so much put him with the No Quarter Catch crew, but maybe he aligns himself with the Wes Lee, and maybe they start looking at, okay, what's going to be the new faction that we do have if we were to move other factions out or take them away. And there's something that I can think of, because I look at Charlie Dempsey as someone who would be acclimated better on the main roster than where he is right now.
Right.
Right.
But
I'm thinking about your idea of Nathan Frazer and Wes Lee, and trying to figure out how you would get to that point with those two men.
it's very simple, Chris Best. Wes Lee turned on two people. Right now, it is two rascals against one.
This is true, and that's...
So if somebody has a new attitude and wants to get out of the shadows of someone and work with the team, maybe he just pairs up with someone who wants to not be a part of a team, who wants to do something for themselves. Wes Lee has stated he doesn't want to be a part of a team. He wants to worry about Wes Lee. Nathan Frazer would want to worry about Nathan Frazer. They could be NXT's two-man power trip or something along those lines.
I like that, actually. Yeah.
As the shirt says, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. That's not even my best idea. Even Tom Collihu on Twitter even acknowledged my great idea is that on Monday we should see the Judgment Day assess the situation that the 5 members lost it to, kick out the deadweight that is Carlito, in my opinion, and decide we need to bring in muscle. We need somebody who finishes their problems, and Bronson Reed is the new leader of the Judgment Day Monday night.
I'm still taking the wait and see approach on that situation. I do agree with you that Judgment Day does need to come on Monday and assess what the hell happened.
And there's my reasoning to what then accepting Bronson Reed can then go for the Intercontinental title because it's Judgment Day who helps him that way.
Mm-hmm. But I do expect that if Nathan Frazer and Axiom do split after this match, that we get a hell of a rivalry out of them too.
I'm already looking at Nathan Frazer, and if he is going to be the one that turns heel, the man needs to slow it down. He is going a mile a minute, and he's not in full control of his body right now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, cut your hair, man. You look too much of a hippie.
He really does.
He looks like a Sherpa. Got to give props to Andre Chase. That was a very well-timed kick out right there. That is somebody who is very experienced and understands his placement and where he is in the ring. Did not make that obvious, but definitely 100% aware of where he was.
Yeah, I was going to say it. I found it actually hard. I couldn't tell if he was actually watching the referee's cadence or listening for it.
It was both, just using peripherals like a pro.
Yeah.
And I kind of have to say, he is out of the 4. He is not, to me, the one who looks out of place. Not that anybody, sorry, not out of place, but he's not the one who isn't holding up his full end of the bargain in this match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not impressed with Nathan Frazer tonight. I would have just done it the other way around. What had Andre Chase fallen Ridge? Poor guy, man. That's a big boy falling on you.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it looked a little weird. A big boy like Ridge Holland taking a drop kick from a small dude like Axiom.
Definitely gonna break up a pin if he falls on you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whoever wins this tag title match, where do we go from here with the next challengers?
If Chase U retains, like I assume they would, I would go no quarter catch crew. I would start pushing hard no quarter catch crew as my new like main faction in NXT.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to go the same way because I can't really think of any other heel teams that could step up to challenge Chase U at this moment.
I mean, Gallows and Anderson are an option. Coffee Brothers are an option.
What about the D'Angelo family with Luca and Stax?
They're more babyface though right now.
Yeah. And then, like, I guess too, like, we are looking at a potential North Quarter Catch Crew versus the D'Angelo family as well. So I don't. It's tough to say. But maybe this is where we see Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking that myself. I know the D'Angelo family are technically more babyface, but you still get those heelish characteristics out of them. As I believe we saw on Tuesday when I can't remember if they got the win over No Quarter Catch Crew or not in the tag match.
I can't recall either.
Because I'm starting to see face tendencies as well from No Quarter Catch Crew as opposed to the heel tendencies. I guess it's the blurred lines.
Oh, what the? I'm not sure if I like that finish, but
wow.
Man, they're really making Chase U look like transitional tag champs in this.
as Axiom and Nathan Frazer have reclaimed the tag team titles.
Oh, there goes the Champ U shirt sales.
Right?
Yeah.
Certainly did not go the way I think any of us were anticipating, but
again, now the same can be said for No Quarter Catch Crew going after Axiom and Nathan Frazer now for the tag titles.
Yep.
Yeah, but you also can maybe see Chase U try to reclaim those titles too. I mean, they gave Axiom Frazier their rematch, so maybe Chase U gives them theirs or gets theirs.
That's another thing I'd hope for. Or, okay.
Ooh, does this mean he's going to join Sean Spears?
Well, that's right. Sean Spears has been in his ear for the last couple of weeks. I am really enjoying Thea Hale's reactions to this whole situation right now.
Yep.
Captain Insano shows no mercy, and neither does Ridge Holland. Could we see Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne connect back together?
I honestly did enjoy them as a tag team when they were members of the Brawling Brutes. So I wouldn't be too opposed to that.
Oh, is this a Halloween Havoc?
Yeah, which is actually going to be a PLE this year. Last year it was just a 2-week special.
Well, that's because now NXT's on televised channel, and they're going city to city.
Yes.
They're touring now.
That's something I didn't put together when doing the report on, or the talk about the Performance Center moving to Las Vegas.
Well, there really hasn't been anything saying that they're actually moving it to Las Vegas.
No, it was just brought up at a meeting recently, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think it would be smart if they just make a second Performance Center in Vegas, and they have it on the coasts.
I like that idea better than moving the entire PC over there. And you can still set it up in the UFC Apex.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Which you were not a big fan of in that regard with.
Yeah, because I was thinking to our current incarnation of NXT where they tape the shows there, but I totally wasn't even thinking about the fact that they are going to be going on tour should that come into place.
Right.
I mean, there's also a lot of places to build stuff in Vegas. I'm sure they could just build their own place.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that sounds more like a WWE thing. It's also
Right.
take into account if they were to go into the Apex, other things also happen in there as well. So I highly doubt that would be an option.
Well, yeah, because every weekend, basically, the UFC has their fight nights there. So,
Yep.
And there's, concerts there. There's entertainment shows. There's a plethora of events that are booked.
Yep.
Now, I'm wondering if that was placed, because we had talked yesterday when we did the bash in Berlin, how you enjoyed the fact that both the opening and closing matches, yes, they had respect type situations happen, that they were spread out from the beginning to the finish.
right.
Are we going to see something along the same lines? That are we going to get a turn at the finish as well, and it's so spread out that it's also opening and the closing of the show?
Yeah, because I was the one that I explained my ending on Tuesday with how Ethan Page is going to come out as the champion. I think it's Trick Williams that turns on Joe Hendry and costs him.
I've been saying that for a month. You can't always just feel that and say it's you.
I know. And I was going to credit you before you interrupted me.
You see that smile, though? That's Mark. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to go with another idea, and I think, Parrish, I know Chris has alluded to it, so I think you're probably the one who brought it up, and I'm going to suggest I do think that they pulled the trigger on Joe Hendry, but what about, do they debut Josh Alexander in NXT and you get the North going across Brandon?
I remember a couple of weeks ago on the Chris Bears podcast, that is something that I could see one of two scenarios where Trick either turns and you go Trick against Joe Hendry in NXT, but then also bring in Josh Alexander and you can do the North versus Trick and Joe. So I think you can go a completely different amount of ways here. Here's the funny thing. They might not even do any one of those.
True.
Right?
They might just have all ego Ethan Page somehow be a mastermind and get out of the scenario all by himself, and he maybe pits Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams to the point where they have to battle it out to get back to him, and maybe he is the guest referee in their number one contenders match. He then goes all ego and attacks both guys. Then Ava Rain gets the last laugh and makes a Halloween Havoc a triple threat match for that title. I've covered my bases on this.
You have, definitely. Because like you, Parrish, I think logically, and that is probably some of the most logical booking I've heard in a long time.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, you have Ethan Page look like a genius, right? So he's all high. You can't get mad at him because he didn't do anything wrong. And that's, I think, what I love about it. As we are going to get Wes Lee against Zachary Wentz next. And no, it is not for any TNA X Division Championship. As we all assumed it would go on Friday.
But I do want to see him wearing the X Division title when he comes to the ring.
He did bring him to the arena.
There you go.
They had him kind of walking to the arena, and let's just say Zachary Wentz didn't have he wasn't PG with his wording. Basically said Wes Lee said he wasn't on his level. Well, Wes Lee's not on his level. Because look at that title. I am going to say, I just don't know how you can look like a badass when you have hair like that.
I was going to say, he looks like a mushroom, like he belongs to the Toadstool Kingdom or something with that hair.
Part of me that kind of hopes he just shaves his head if and embraces a full heel turn. I'm very intrigued of what Trey Miguel could do in this match. We talk so much about Zachary Wentz and Wes Lee simply because they're the ones competing in this match. Zachary Wentz becoming a TNA X Division champion on Friday. Wes Lee being the one who turned on everyone. But what does Trey Miguel have on the scenario? It very much seems like when Seth Rollins turned his back on the Shield and they went straight into the him versus Dean Ambrose, we wanted to hear what Roman Reigns thought at the time. He gives me a lot of the same vibe checks here. What does Trey Miguel do in this scenario? How does he feel? Is this maybe a separation that is something he's going to accept? and maybe he wants to go on his own now that the guy, a member of his faction, turned on him, doesn't want anything to do with it. And then you see the other one went out and did something on his own. Does Trey Miguel do something on his own?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even really thought about Trey Miguel since this split up. I wonder if we get our answer tonight on that situation.
That's what I was alluding to. Hence the initial warning. I wonder what Trey Miguel has in this match. What's your answer on the X Division title?
I got Wes Lee taking the win in this match, by the way. So who do you guys again got taking this one?
You really didn't pay attention to the show earlier today, did you?
I did, but what about the viewers who haven't watched the show?
Who isn't watching? Show yourselves. I'm an 81 Honda. How dare you?
I literally just finished watching that movie before I came here.
I didn't. I haven't seen that movie in a while. No, I think I have a feeling Trey. This is how I would book it. I think Trey Miguel gets involved. He is torn, but he obviously grabs the X Division Championship, goes to hit Wes Lee. Wes Lee ducks. He ends up hitting Zachary Wentz. Wes Lee picks up the win. This sets up a triple threat match between the three, perhaps an X Division Championship triple threat between all three rascals.
What a fantastic match that's going to be, too.
OMD, what do you think?
You know what? That would be a fantastic match. I have Wes Lee taking the match as well, simply because it is NXT, it's home turf for him. And of course, Zach just coming off of that X Division Championship win. So I think if you want to establish Wes as a credible heel, you need to have him win. But I don't see Trey Miguel getting involved tonight. But it will not be a clean win for Wes.
I like the start of this match so far. It's they're going at it like they know each other's moves, which they do because, you know, their tag team history, their friendship history, obviously.
Yep.
This match is too pretty for me.
Need a little bit of grit in the match, do you?
If your best friend turned on you and you had a chance to fight him, are you doing flips? Are you running the ropes? Are you just punching his face in?
I've been in that angle before, and I punched his face in that feud.
There you go.
That's what I'm missing. I'm missing intensity.
Mm-hmm.
Super kick. Get the super kick out of here. You're in a fight. Come on.
It should be similar to how Sean and Marty had their first match. They went straight to blows instead of wrestling each other.
I'm not gonna go in that way of thinking of it should be like what other people did. I want them to just give or make me feel the emotion of what the build was, what their last promo was I'm taking every verbal jab at you because your feeling doesn't matter to me. And I want to see that with their fists, with their feet, with their actions now. I want to see that fight. That's why this match, as of right now, it's too pretty for me. Gargano and Ciampa weren't this pretty.
No, they weren't.
No, they weren't. I was going to say about them. Sorry, Parrish.
I was just going to say if I was going back to an example, which I don't like to do because this is their story, not somebody else's. But yeah, as you were saying.
I was going to say about them kicks that Wes Lee were throwing. You mentioned the intensity. I kind of wish those kicks were a little bit faster.
I do have another fantasy football draft, so I had to make sure that I'm on.
Yeah. No.
I got an A on my one earlier today.
Nice.
At the 8th pick, and somehow Justin Jefferson dropped. Like, come on, people.
Mm-hmm.
Picked him and Puka Nakua up as my first 2 picks. Like, come on, what a receiving core. And it's a PPR, and I still got Chris Godwin. Come on. Lamar Jackson, Rashad White, James Cook. That's a solid team. What are people thinking here? It's in the league with our good friend Throwback, too, by the way. So
nice. Do you see this feud? Well, that actually we already talked about that. Never mind.
Yes, I see it continuing after this match.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I realized you booked a feud down the road. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
By the way, OMD, every time we see a cutter, we gotta call it a reverse neck breaker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is now.
Because Chris Best, I guess, does not know that as of yesterday.
Okay.
He had a brain fart, and I'm not letting it go.
Yeah.
No, until we actually get a falling neck breaker, and somebody calls it on TV a reverse neck breaker. If they call it on TV a reverse neck breaker, okay, then the rib stops.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the announcer, not anybody here. We don't count.
Okay, so OMD and I can't do that at the CWE show at the end of the month.
No,
Right.
Professionals.
I like that
in the middle.
rollover into the Boston Crab.
Yeah, too bad that if Wes Lee had any height, he's already touching the ropes.
Yeah, true.
Isn't that an 18 by 18 like that? That's a lot of space they wasted. That actually might be 20 by 20.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the WWE rings are 20 by 20s.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely 20 by 20.
Yeah. I think the only time they shrink the ring down is for War Games.
I don't think they even do that.
I don't know. They look smaller to me, but could be wrong.
I mean, the camera angle is different for them, so
True.
on that.
So I know Wes Lee is a heel, but I really haven't seen him do anything that really screams heel to me in this match.
No, you're right. The match started off quick and high paced. Really, he's slowed it down a little bit.
This match is just too pretty for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll say it like there is whatever the story I feel they had, all I get is, oh, they just want to have a good match.
Yeah.
That's all I get. And it's like, I'm not criticizing what they're doing in the ring. What they're doing in the ring is phenomenal. But it doesn't make me care about the story.
Yeah, I need a little bit of anger, especially out of oh my god, I'm having a brain fart right now.
Both of them. Just both of them.
Both of them, yeah.
Like, almost be a little pretentious for Wes Lee and have something to prove when your Zachary wins.
Yeah, for me, this has almost gone back to like a Kidman versus Mysterio style match. Or
yeah, like
I was gonna say
match.
I was gonna say Kidman versus Paul London.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, because Ray would have made it. Well, I mean Kidman too, but like Kidman's psychology would have been there. Ray would have done everything he had to. Paul London, I just think works the same way.
Like, there's a part of me wishes that when Wes Lee was making his way to the ring for the introductions, that Zachary Wentz just made a beeline for him and just started the match right there. Just, run him down the aisle, just start pummeling him because of how much hatred he should be harboring towards Wes Lee.
But you could have done the same thing with Wes Lee coming out during Wentz's entrance first and attacking from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this has almost gone cruiserweight. Like, I can't even put this as a like TNA X Division style match because it hasn't even hit that peak.
Yeah, saw that one coming.
There was the reverse neck or the
That's the flipping reverse neck breaker.
yep. And Wentz getting the win.
That was actually impressive, that finish, though.
And there's Trey Miguel. Now, I understand why they went this route. But if you ask me, Zachary Wentz's story with Wes Lee should be over. And now we should go to Wes Lee versus Trey Miguel.
Yep. Yeah, because if I'm Wes Lee right now, I'm pissed off because Trey Miguel cost him the match, essentially.
Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know. I already know what match was the match not for me tonight.
Yeah, I just needed just a little bit more emotion out of that match, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, to me, there wasn't much to get out of that match other than the story. I felt if you watch that match on silence, like on mute, like I did, just so that the sound doesn't get picked up onto this stream, and YouTube has a hissy fit about it, then you wouldn't have known that there was a story between the two outside of this match, in my eyes.
Yeah.
You would if you had the sound on because the announcers are telling you the story. And to me, that really shows that you are not doing your job as a storyteller in the ring. You're doing your job as a pro wrestler in the ring but your storytelling was not there. And this match lost me. Their story does not matter to me because let's just say the painting doesn't represent their emotion.
Right.
And that to me is where it's lost.
I love that name for that team, Fatal Influence.
I do too. Jasmine needs to work on her sass, though.
Yeah.
Now, we're seeing a package with Oba Femi, and the one thing we are not seeing is any graphic with him with the North American Championship. Now, I realize they're talking about his story coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if not only is he dropping the championship tonight, but is he going into the Halloween Havoc, the number one contender to the NXT title?
I wouldn't be too opposed to that. But what I really want to see is, since we've had TNA crossovers, there's a part of me that really wants to see him and Moose go at it.
Yeah.
I want him and Hammerstone.
Yeah.
I'll go one eye. I wonder if that's the face Oba Femi has when he's taking a poop. Because I also don't want to be below, I also don't want to be looking at him while that's happening.
Yeah. And coming up next is Kelani Jordan and Wendy Choo.
Interesting.
Wendy Choo is bringing something in that duffel bag or a little body bag there. What do you guys think that is?
Darby Allin?
Your chances, but in well, it can't be that heavy because she's just absolutely throwing it around. Could it be like a dark body pillow?
Possibly.
Because she did like to take naps, and she still has kind of that eye cover that people do have when they go to sleep.
Yes.
So on Tuesday, I went ahead and said Kelani Jordan was taking this one, but there's also a part of me that is kind of curious to see how Wendy Choo would run as the NXT North American Women's Champion as well.
Well, I took Wendy Choo to win this, and as much as I called Kelani Jordan to win that ladder match, her title reign has come up flat.
But is that because of what she's been doing in terms of a booking standpoint, or is that her as a champion?
I think both, to be honest. You alluded to it in the last match. I don't think we've seen that intensity out of her. I think she's been the nice girl and been almost too nice, even as the champion.
But we've seen that before. She's not in a storyline that really is bringing that out of her, like I betrayed my best friend type of scenario.
Right.
She's in she's in a normal wrestling storyline.
Right.
And that could just be who she is. I mean, Kelly was the same person, right? In that way. And I kind of look at that as a fair comparison. I think what we need to see is just Kelani Jordan being put into situations where she is being challenged and she's overcoming. So she could have that underdog mentality. She can have that kind of chip on her shoulder, but at the same time, she has the pedigree to say, yeah, I was the underdog here. I won. I was the underdog here. I won. And you see the confidence build. And maybe that's kind of how I want to see her reign as North American champion.
Okay. So in that same type of comparison, you want to see her do the Roxanne Perez, who was built and built and built as always the underdog, and now she's got this chip on her shoulder. And
I think with Roxanne Perez, people expected out of her from the get-go, and she was young, so we're seeing that maturity rise. I think with Kelani Jordan, we're seeing somebody who nobody thought she would ever get there, and now she's slowly proven people wrong, that she does not only can get there, she deserves to be there, and she deserves to be one of the top stars. Like,
okay,
I think it's just a perception thing. Because I don't think anybody pegged Kelani Jordan as the fall or the next breakout star like they did Roxanne Perez.
Right. And I mean, going back to the ladder match that she won, I believe, OMD, you had picked her because she was the underdog going into that match. Nobody had her picked to win that one.
Nope. I had her picked, yes, as the underdog, but also with her athleticism and her tenure, because she had sort of been around the longest, taking into account Sol Ruka's injuries prior to going into that match.
Right, because Sol Ruka was my choice to win that match, if I remember correctly.
Yours and I believe Parrish's.
Oh, I wasn't with you guys when we were watching that, though.
No,
Yeah.
you weren't.
No, it was me, you, and Bubba who did that show.
Yep.
I was over with her friends over on another place.
Yes.
But yeah, I do believe in this match, you could also still showcase Kelani as the underdog. As long as Wendy Choo kind of keeps that creep factor going that she's got with her character right now.
Right. Now, with this Wendy Choo, this new version of Wendy Choo, this darker, are we starting to see her try and incorporate her Mei Ying along with her sleeping character?
That's exactly what she's doing, because I've seen her do an interview where she talked about that character.
Oh, okay.
And the more I see this character, the more I like Wendy Choo. I even liked Wendy Choo when she was the babyface too. So
now I gotta ask, out of the Fatal Influence, who is the tag team there? Is it JC Jane and Fallon Henley, or is it JC Jane and Jasmine Nix?
I'm trying to think, because I've seen all three of them individually have tag team matches with all three of them. So I'm trying to.
My reasoning is, say it's Jasmine Nix and JC Jane, I could see Fallon Henley being a next competitor for this title if Kelani Jordan can win.
But I could also see JC Jane being a contender for this title.
I can see JC Jane being a contender for the NXT Women's title. I think she is a larger name than the other two.
Right.
But I mean, we asked, okay, what's next for everybody? Well, what's next for Kelani Jordan if she retains? What's next for Wendy Choo if she happens to win the title here? I think it's easy for someone to say that, for us to say Sol Ruka for Wendy Choo. But if it's Kelani Jordan, are we looking at, and I picked this name in the Chris Parrish podcast earlier today, I think Lola Vice would be an amazing person for Kelani Jordan.
Right.
And that's my pick to be the next North American champion.
Yeah, I do think you go with Lola Vice, because between her and Kelani, I do feel like Lola is the bigger star. I do feel like Lola could be the one that takes the title off of Leilani as well, or Kelani.
It's not Leilani Kai.
No, it's not. I'm going to suggest potentially a returning Cora Jade.
She's not ready to come back anytime soon, though. Plus, I do think if Cora Jade's coming back, I believe she'd be pegged right back into the spot where she was left off, and that was going to be an affiliation with Roxanne Perez.
Right.
There is somebody who would be returning who could make sense, that could be a very difficult challenge for her, and that would be Nikita Lyons.
Nikita Lyons can go away.
Thinking just a tad outside the back box, because we've all said
from Boston.
Yeah, the backs. I am from Boston. I'm going to go drive my car to go to the store.
You like the Red Sox, you loser. Anyway, what were you going to say?
No, I was thinking outside the box here, and I know that we've all pegged this woman to possibly go after Roxanne Perez once she makes her debut. But what about Julia coming in? for the North American Women's Championship.
There is no way Roxanne Perez mentions Julia's name as much as she does if you're not bringing her in to be a Roxanne Perez opponent.
Right.
Now, do we see either Julia or Stephanie Vaquer tonight?
I think Julia is the one that does show up and faces off with Roxanne Perez after that. Yeah. After she successfully retains her title.
Okay. Right, because
or do we see Delta?
Not right now.
I don't think Delta's done with her previous commitments right just yet.
I would believe Delta would be more suited for vignettes and that sort of a debut.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Stephanie Vaquer would be something similar or else a surprise opponent. But I think Julia's the one. I think she is right now the bigger star, the bigger name out of the three. She's the one with the bigger headlines outside of the company.
OMD, there you go. We've got that aggression coming out of Kelani Jordan just now.
Yep.
Sorry, Parrish.
I'm only a couple of seconds behind you tonight. So far.
You're just 2 steps behind?
Yep.
Okay, do you know that the song that I'm referring to?
Def Leppard, 2 steps behind.
Yeah.
You forget I am an 80s rock guy. That is.
I know, but you don't watch movies, so it can throw people off of what do you do with your spare time. Don't answer that. This match has been great so far.
It has.
Yeah.
Which originally was my dark horse pick of the match of the night. And then I changed it to the other women's match. But given her performance, OMD, are you a little bit more on a positive outlook with Kelani Jordan?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I will even say this: this match has already outshone my predicted match.
Outshone?
So, outshined.
You don't think it's cute? You don't think it's sexy? It's not your boy toy?
No, it's not my boy toy.
Or maybe it is your boy toy because on the song it says, "I'm not your boy toy." And we're going opposite here.
No, this is horrible.
Damn it, Parrish.
So let's say Kelani Jordan does drop the championship tonight. Is it possible that she eventually makes her way over to challenging Roxanne Perez?
No.
Not anytime soon.
No, if anything, I'd just go back to a rematch on Tuesday, and then I would kind of be done with that.
I was going to say, if anything, I could see her going and answering an open challenge on Impact for Jordan Grace's NXT or Women's Championship.
Well, there's a Botchamania moment.
Yeah.
Not liking how that's so close to the end here.
It's a really weird looking sleeper, to be honest with you.
Kelani Jordan said so too, as she doesn't seem to be sleeping. I'm so glad that wasn't the finish, given what was right before it.
This might honestly be Wendy Choo's best performance since coming to NXT as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, definitely her best performance in this heel persona, but she was putting out some secretly great matches before she got injured.
Yeah. It's literally why, and I know her gimmick is the pajama, wanting to go take a nap, but I've always said don't sleep on Wendy Choo.
Well, I mean, depending on your style. But a nice 450 by Kelani Jordan. No pinfall attempt, though. You should have just stayed with the 450. But, yeah. As we see what in about a 1, a 2, a 3. OMD, are you there now?
I am.
And there we go.
Finish.
Kelani Jordan retains her championship against Wendy Choo.
So I wouldn't be opposed to Fallon Henley or even JC Jane stepping up to take the challenge next. But I'm also thinking about people from TNA who could come in, and we've already seen Rosemary come in and take her on.
Yep.
And I think I'd be okay if Rosemary stepped up and challenged for the title at some point.
I really wouldn't mind Wendy Choo going over to TNA and them going after the knockout tag titles.
That'd be fine too.
We've been talking about, what if Jordan Grace came over and won a championship? What if Joe Hendry comes over and wins a championship? What if said person from NXT wins a championship? We've never talked about what happens if somebody from both companies become champion together.
Right.
Even if Wendy Choo. Never mind.
Now that is how you do a dragon suplex.
That's really well executed.
That was a pillow. It was just in a black pillowcase. Well, we're now in the halfway point of our show.
Yeah, what do you say we play a little commercial for everybody so that we can show them everything going on at Turnbuckle Studios?
Especially since we don't have any surprises this week. So, yes, that'd be a...
And that's all the fine programming you can catch right here at Turnbuckle Studios and our various other platforms. And OMD is still muted.
I like how you play the music, you do that, and you play the song and cut me off at the same time. What a dick move you just did on both of us, might I add.
I apologize, Parrish, and I apologize, OMD.
He can't hear you right now. He has music playing in his ears.
Actually, when you do have that problem, you can still hear us talking.
I know.
At least I can.
I don't know. I wouldn't have that.
I can, yep. While we are waiting the arrivals of Jaida Parker and Roxanne Perez, because I'm assuming that that's the next match.
Is it by the vignette that they're showing, the promo package?
Yes.
The build up to their match? Oh, okay. Just thought I'd ask.
I'm going to head to the locker room for a visit.
He's going for his Jaida P.
He is.
That was a hell of a slap, by the way, that Jaida Parker gave to Roxanne. I love it. Talk about intensity. There we go. Ooh, Wolfgang, there we go. Wolfgang is putting Gallus on notice.
Yeah, there's a team we hadn't even thought about stepping up to challenge them.
I actually did say that.
That's right, too.
I think I am flat out showcasing your lack of paying attention to the words I speak.
You are. You are.
Now, I can say the Chris Tucker thing, and I really have to ask, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Well, do ya, punk?
I do.
Oh, a local medical facility is getting one more. As we find out from Ridge. I have to laugh because we aren't getting that match. Yeah. So we're getting the North American title matches back to back, which is something I thought could happen.
Yeah, because when they were doing the Jaida Parker video package, I thought it'd be kind of weird getting two women's championship matches back to back.
I mean, technically, we got two male champions back to back. We just didn't get two male championship matches in the men's tag and then the X Division champion.
True.
So you missed a great women's title match there, OMD, and then now we're with Toad and D'Angelo coming out.
Yep, I see that.
No, NXT does have a history of closing off with both their women's and men's matches. As Bobby Stats is in the house. How's it going, Bobby? How are you doing? Thanks for joining. We appreciate it. We're happy to see you. Well, I am, as everyone is staying quiet and not welcoming our guest.
I am quite happy to see Bobby. Welcome to the show, Bobby. Good to see you, brother. Thank you, as always, for joining.
And welcome, Bobby Stats. Sorry, I'm distracted by the I can't remember her name, but the female in the D'Angelo family.
You are such a pervert. I'm just joking.
I won't disagree, nor will I agree with that.
He will neither confirm nor deny. He's a CIA operative.
What in the blue hell is this dance we're getting out of Oba Femi?
I have no idea.
And he just ripped the Velcro off the title. That is awesome.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Neither did I. I think I want Oba Femi to win now. Unless he does that because Tony D'Angelo doesn't need the extension to wear it. And that was just him doing the Man of Solid. But
Adriana Rizzo is her name. Adriana Rizzo.
Did you have to Google that?
No, I did not.
Did you have to Google that while Beth was too busy Googling at her?
I did not. My phone is sitting right over there. My hands are here.
Glad to hear that, Bob.
Yeah, glad you're doing good, Bobby.
Bobby, you have no idea how much we appreciate you. We love the fact you're showing up all the time.
Brother.
The loyalty, the support. Without you, streaming just wouldn't be the same for us. So we appreciate you as well.
Yeah.
Also, we got to, I know a lot of people want to talk about Braun Breaker and just how explosive and how much potential he's shown, because we really saw him right at the beginning of NXT 2.0.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But so was Tony D'Angelo. Those were his first matches, right when NXT 2.0 happened. And we're seeing him now, and he is absolutely just come such a long way. And I mean, how can you not be impressed with somebody like Tony D'Angelo?
He's one of my early predictions for next year's NXT call-ups.
You think NXT is going to call him up?
Or, I mean, main roster call-ups. My wording was not the greatest there.
Your wording has not been the greatest all night. It's been all over the place.
He's too busy Googling over the...
Yeah,
what was her name there? OMD?
Adriana Rizzo.
There you go.
Not only that, and I mean, he's busy, with his reverse neck breakers.
Hey, I'm just in awe that we're going to be seeing Joe Hendry in a title match later tonight.
I can't believe OMD and I are tagging up on you.
I know, it's usually me and you tagging up on OMD.
Yeah.
OMD, you didn't know?
Bobby Stad saying he's thinking Tony D can be in the Men's Royal Rumble next year. I could see it.
I hope so, because I plan on attending that Royal Rumble. Tony Diapolis? It's a stretch, but I think we can work on it.
I think so. I'm kind of actually surprised that Tony's family is out there with him, because I kind of thought he'd be coming out here on his own, and then we'd see them make their appearance later on.
Now, on the Chris Parrish podcast, I did say I could see this being a true one-on-one match, and I do think we're still going to get that. I do think the No Quarter Catch crew is going to come out and try to create some chaos, and that is what leads to Oba Femi losing this match and his championship.
Yeah, because somewhere in that chaos, Oba gets distracted, correct?
Either distracted or perhaps hit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I could see Oba Femi either A, wanting to join Tony in the fight against the No Quarter Catch crew, or 2, you're finding a way to take the title off him without making him look weak, because just by looking at him, the guy is a prodigy of a big man. There's no doubt on that. I mean, how do you get Oba Femi after Braun Breaker? I mean, that's just not fair in the sense of the game. But that entrance, man, that whatever that dance was, him ripping off the Velcro. Dude, I have changed my tone on Oba Femi 100% right now. I kind of want to see him versus Omos. I think that would be a hell of a match in the sense of a spectacle.
Right. What about Oba Femi versus Odyssey Jones?
Nah, those are two good guys. Bobby Stats coming in saying, then I can see one of the members of No Quarter Catch Group challenge for the NXT North American Championship like Charlie Dempsey or Tavion Heights. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd probably go Charlie over Tavion, but either one of them could lay their claim to that title, you know?
I mean, yeah, Charlie Dempsey as the North American champion in NXT, absolutely.
Man, and how like sweet would it be if Regal actually becomes like the mouthpiece to the No Quarter Catch crew? Like,
right?
It'd be fantastic.
100% with you.
Like a former European champion leading his son to become a champion of North America. Like, come on, it writes itself on this. Oh, nicely executed.
Oh, yeah, that was beautiful.
I am very curious how large those elbow pads are. Forget the fact that his trunks are probably a singlet for me. I think his elbow pads are probably knee pads for most people.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
So the question I always have on my mind every time I see Oba Femi going into this match, and because Parrish, you and I have talked about this a long time ago in the past, but we've always had concerns over Oba Femi's cardio in his match. Has he improved to you since then?
I think all he does is improve.
Yeah.
Because all we're seeing him is not staring away from it. Mm-hmm. All he does is challenge himself even more. All he does is put himself in those positions. And that's something that you learn as a wrestler. It's not something you can learn in training. I mean, you can, but you really experience it in matches that you really are pit. There's a moment where you're faced with, do I have any more in the tank? And you realize you have a second tank. And that's what Oba Femi is really learning. And once that truly, my Lord, once he truly figures that out, he is going to be a complete beast. Bobby coming in and saying, I would like to see a match between Oba Femi versus Bronson Reed or Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is a very intriguing option that you put out there, Bobby, just because of how different stylistically this match would be and just the size difference, because Pete Dunne has an amazing ability to almost take that size difference away by the way he uses limb maneuvers, just like the breaking of that, like the fingers and all that stuff, the limb manipulation. It's such a beautiful skill that he possesses. And Bronson Reed, well, let's face it, like that guy's just on a tear right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb for next WrestleMania season and say Oba Femi wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
I hope he goes up against Tozawa in the finals, because you would know there would be a part of you that wants Tozawa to win it.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's the beauty of Tozawa, man. He can make you want you to cheer for him, obviously.
I'll even kind of go one up there. I kind of want Otis to win it, to be honest.
No, imagine if it came down to Otis and Tozawa.
No, imagine if it came down to Oba Femi and Otis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just give me all the meat slapping on that one. All right? Whew. Trust fall.
I gotta say, for a big guy, Oba Femi is actually really good at selling.
He is very athletic. Like, it is crazy athletic. He might be the new age Lesnar.
Okay.
Like, I think I compare him to a Lesnar right now. Just what he's able to do in the ring, hit, and like even Breaker. Like, I think those guys definitely bring the Lesnar comparisons out. Although there's nobody like Lesnar, but a little bit of aggression there out of
Oba.
Yeah. Ooh. See, and what I like is the family wasn't involved in the set.
Oh.
I was gonna say the family wasn't getting involved in a way of changing the outcome or helping Tony D'Angelo. Sorry, what they were doing is preventing Oba from doing anything dirty.
Yeah.
And then it was Oba who threw the first shot.
Yeah, and they were doing that because they want to see Tony win the championship.
Oh. Is he taking too long?
Oh, man. I think he caved his chest in on that one. Okay, I thought that was it.
I was about to ask, did anybody peg this match as your match of the night? Because
No.
these guys are putting on a show.
Right?
And Oba Femi is impressive tonight.
Yeah, he brought his A game for sure. Both men have brought their A games.
Yeah. And Tony D'Angelo, just to what we were saying earlier, just absolutely taking an opportunity and going with it.
I mean, I'll be the first to admit, when he became the number one contender for the NXT heavyweight title earlier this year. Wow. I was the first to admit to say, Tony D'Angelo? Really?
Tony D'Angelo? Really?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying now about him.
Bobby Stats coming in. This match is good between Oba Femi.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, I think his cardio has improved.
Oh, 100%, because he's not looking as sweaty as he used to after his matches.
Oh, see, I don't care about sweat. Sweat adds to the match.
Mm-hmm.
What I care about is how fatigue actually changes the way you perform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Now, when you talk about matches that make you feel, Wes Lee, Zachary, Wentz, I will challenge you to watch this match because there is no reason why this match should have out-emotionally performed you, but it did.
Yeah, and I mean, let's not forget where this show is tonight, too, in Denver, where the air is a hell of a lot thinner and it's a lot harder to breathe.
Oh, yeah. And the one thing I like coming out of this match is that we very well could possibly see Tony D'Angelo ask for a rematch off of Oba. And I would 100% be gladly on board with that.
See, here, I'll paint a picture right now. Who's more pissed off at themselves, Kevin Owens or Tony D'Angelo?
I got to say, Tony looked pretty upset there.
But go back to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens fought tooth and nail within himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that cost him the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to take that easy way out. He did not want to do what everyone thought he was only there to do. He wanted to do things the right way. And Tony D'Angelo, all he's doing is putting down, getting up, fighting. I said Oba Femi has a Brock Lesnar type of comparison. I think Tony D'Angelo has a Kevin Owens type of comparison there with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely see it.
Well, because, let's look at it this way. When Tony D'Angelo was a heel, he did everything within his power to get that victory, even if it was getting help from the family.
Mm-hmm. Now let's paint a little picture. If you want to do a little 8-man tag here, how about we pit? Sorry, let's go to this comment first. Where does D'Angelo go from here? Does he do a match at TNA? Bobby, I will answer this question with a question. Who would you have him face at TNA if TNA was that answer? Now I'll open it to you guys and then go from there. OMD, Let's start with you.
I'm going to go with Tony D'Angelo and the D'Angelo family against the system. Moose, Myers, Edwards, and JDC.
I'm really not too familiar with the TNA roster quite yet. I really should be because of my fandom for Joe Hendry and some of the wrestlers there, but I think I'm going to go with OMD's suggestion and say the system as well because of who I know who's in that stable.
I'd love to see Tony D'Angelo truly test himself against one of either Nick Nemeth, because if you're gonna do it, you go to the top,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Josh Alexander.
Absolutely.
Imagine Josh Alexander and Ethan Page up against Stax and Tony D'Angelo.
I like that.
Get behind that 100%.
Now, Bobby, you asked the question. We reversed it. We played that Uno reverse card. What's your answer?
And I will say this, pending her health after Friday night, you could even do Adriana Rizzo, who's growing into her character and as a wrestler, against Alicia Edwards, who is growing into her character and as a wrestler.
Now, I know War Games is now a main roster thing for Survivor Series.
Right.
However, if we were to go Worlds Collide here, and we were to do the D'Angelo family versus the system and go straight on NXT versus TNA, and we do that in some sort of a gimmick match, we could have that, and they're protected in that scenario. Because Bobby Stats is coming out and saying Frankie Kazarian versus Tony D'Angelo.
I like it.
I do too.
I like it because of Kazarian's longevity.
Mm-hmm.
So that would really help Tony D learn. Let's put another name out there that's got some longevity, and it's a guy that I know we are all fans of, that being Eric Young.
I like that one too, actually. Now, what if, like Parrish, brought up War Games? What if we did Worlds Collide, but instead of using War Games, they actually used Lethal Lockdown for that match?
I needed to just listen to my screen there. Needed to see if Trick was doing that. I was not listening fully to what you were saying, so could you please repeat that?
Yeah, you had mentioned War Games and mentioned the possibility of Worlds Collide being the D'Angelo family versus the System. But what if instead of War Games for that, we used Lethal Lockdown?
And we combined a paper or PLE from WWE with a gimmick from TNA.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
Well, I think we collectively came together on that. It's kind of like a working relationship, just like WWE and TNA.
And speaking of TNA, we've got our X Division champion on the screen right now.
I will say that's a beautiful looking championship, but I am just someone that, even though you can see a silver championship up there, I am very much a gold man. And man, I can only imagine what that title would look like if it was gold plated instead of nickel plated.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to use Google and check out what the NXT WWE Cruiserweight title would have looked like had they gone blackstrap gold plated, and you tell me if you think the original decision was better.
I've seen that image, and honestly, I like the gold plating better. I was never really fond of the silver against the purple.
I can get behind the idea of if your main championship is gold, your secondary title is nickel. I can understand that mentality. I'm not against it, but come on, be bold. Go with gold. Bobby Stats coming in and saying Tony D'Angelo and Stacks versus Ace Austin and Chris Bay, or Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Interesting.
You know what? If we're going to do that, I would go with Stacks and Crucifino.
Okay. I'll go one better. How about Chris Bay and Ace Austin versus Axiom and Nathan Frazer?
Oh, yeah. Give me that one.
Love it. Love it.
How about we add Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz? We add Tony D'Angelo and we add Stacks, and we do the NXT tag titles on Ultimate X. Ooh.
Well, you've got
binding things here, so let's keep going with it.
You've got the NXT tag titles in there. Why not put the TNA tag titles up there as well in Ultimate X?
Well, who are the TNA tag champions again?
Ace Austin and Chris Bay.
Did they win them back? I know was it Slammiversary they won them back?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
kind of create a undisputed tag team title between the two promotions.
It was funny. I actually was thinking about wearing my Undisputed Era t-shirt, but I'm wearing black shorts, and I didn't want to do black on black. I needed the contrast there. I'm very. My wife is like, "When did you start thinking about that stuff?" And I was like, "Well, I just didn't want to get into like the wearing all the button shirts like a dad would do. Like I just didn't want to get into that fashion. So." Got to do some color contrast now. And then you realize how many like black shirts you have, because if you're a wrestler, you only have black shirts.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I discovered the other day when I was doing laundry. I'm like, damn, I have a lot of black t-shirts.
Therefore, you got to buy different colored shorts or pants. But then you realize there's a lot of dark colored pants or shorts that actually look good. And you know what's better? Having a bright color on top instead of on the bottom. Because as a guy, or even a guy with perhaps male breasts, you kind of want to look good on the top. You want that to be your asset, not your not the penalty here.
As we're getting set for Jaida Parker and Roxanne Perez right now.
Yes, finally. This is the time you play that promo package and then do the match.
Yep.
I still 100% believe that Roxanne Perez is going to walk away with this one, but
Yep.
I've been wrong all night, so
Well, there's never been a better time for you to be right.
And if I've been wrong all night, then my pick for Ethan Page and Joe Hendry hopefully will be wrong too. Although that one's pretty. I think that one's pretty much on the nose.
No, because they know you secretly want Joe Hendry to win, and they're going with that.
Yeah.
They see through your BS. See, it's like what I was saying with like the Oilers and the Oilers, like in their playoff run. When you watch them, they lose.
Yeah,
I know. I know.
I
see. I know you were watching that in Game 7.
Well, yeah, I tuned in for that one, but the one game that I did shut off, and they came back and won.
Yeah. See.
Well,
it's because I told you to.
Yeah.
So, Bess, I'll tell you this now. The Hounds opened the preseason with a 5-2 win.
Cool. Let me know when it's regular season, because preseason doesn't really make a difference for me.
Yeah, like your good friend said, it doesn't matter.
Who are they playing, by the way, today?
Sudbury.
Huh. And of course, it would have been an afternoon game because all of their Sunday games are afternoon games.
Yep. I was just really, really disappointed that the football season didn't start today. And we have to wait another damn week.
We don't. We got to wait till Thursday.
Yeah.
Just think about this. You get wrestling today, you get wrestling tomorrow, you have wrestling Tuesday and wrestling Wednesday, and then you have NFL on Thursday, and then it's SmackDown Friday.
It's going to be a good week.
Can I get the football on Wednesday instead of wrestling?
No. Sorry. I thought it was funny. Just not, usually you go off screen to do that. I love how you just don't care now. Yeah, YouTube. It's not illegal. It's not legal marijuana or like cocaine, so just be okay with it. Where is it? It's not. Ooh, that's a very beautiful butterfly suplex. Okay, if Roxanne Perez wasn't as light, I don't know if that spot goes as planned.
No, I really feel like Jaida Parker would have blown her knee out or something on that.
I just don't think I don't think she would have blown her knee out. I just think she wouldn't have been able to catch her.
And we got Bulkster coming in saying, "Hey guys, smoke another one, OMD."
Whoa! It's only smoke and mirrors. Whoa! How you doing, Bulky?
What's going on, Bulkster?
So Bulkster, I did have that big arch from McDonald's. It was pretty meh. It was basically a double quarter pounder with fried onions. Or crispy onions, I mean. That's what it tasted like to me.
It's McDonald's. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I know.
It's an overvalued meal. That's what I say now. They have 2 things going for them. Actually, sorry. They have 5 things going for them. Their fries are still good as long as you put salt on them.
Yep.
Their Coke is still delicious. Still the best Coke in any fast food industry. The nuggets. The McFlurry.
When the ice cream machine is working.
Well, no, it always does.
Yeah, here's the thing, OMD.
Or,
they actually
or blue collar.
Yeah. Here's the thing, OMD. They actually are always working, but when they say that they're broken, they're really actually being shut off so that they can be cleaned.
Oh, I know.
And then the McGriddle. Come on.
Yeah.
And keeping us back on track, let's go Roxanne Perez.
Thank you, Bobby.
Bulky's coming in saying nuggets are still my favorite with sweet and sour sauce. I don't know why I'm calling you Bulky, but I can't stop. I'm sorry.
To make up for Parrish, I will now refer to you as Terrence.
I just want to say if you're bulky and you know it, clap your hand.
I honestly thought Parrish was just making a Power Ranger reference because that's what Skull used to call Bulk.
Well, that's where I got it, but then all of a sudden for bulky, and it came in my head, and I'm like, I don't.
I'm sure I've said this in the past, but I really am enjoying Roxanne Perez in this heel persona.
Yep.
I do too, but it's only because I love that it's forcing her to slow it down. And I think that's what her style needed from the get-go.
All right, that's fine there, Terrence.
Bobby coming in saying, I like McDonald's or McChicken or the chicken nuggets McDonald's. McChicken isn't bad. It doesn't. It just needs its like a sauce though. Like I'm not a big fan of the sauce on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need like something with it. Pounds you. Oh, it's a new T-shirt idea. It's the Smoker's Corner. See, like I think I'm flat out putting it out there. I'm very good at coming up with ideas for other people. I'm very bad at coming up for ideas for myself. That's why it took me like 8 years to do my own podcast. Now, here's an idea. What if AJ Lee does return to pro wrestling, but she doesn't come back to wrestle. She comes back to form her own stable. And Roxanne, Cora Jade are two members of that stable.
They can call themselves Punk's valets.
I actually don't want anything to do with AJ Lee and CM Punk together. Like I really don't.
But that correlation would still be there.
I mean, correlation should be the name of Cora Jade's finishing move. Just saying.
Yeah.
Or a submission.
Jaida Parker showing some aggression with these takedowns right now. Mm-hmm. It's almost kind of like a one-person hot tag.
I think she's good when it comes to the fighting aspect. I think when it comes to the technical wrestling, that's going to be something she realizes it's not her strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie. I think she reminds me of a very green Bianca Belair.
Oh, and I remember how green Bianca was when she came in. Yeah, to me, I kind of want to see Jaida just pick up and throw her opponents around, you know?
OMD, what were you going to say?
Carl coming in and saying in the group chat that we had a very generous donation last night and have secured the use of Canva for another year.
Yay! Thank you for the donation.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, whoever made that donation.
I'm going to say it was
Bobby Stats.
Well, I was going to say it was Mr. Cameron Grimes. Because, R.I.P. Cameron Grimes.
I literally was about to ask where he has been, but I forgot he got released.
Yeah. His future got bankrupt. With the WWE.
He's now working for that damn Ted DiBiase.
Is he, or is he more of an Erwin Shyster kind of a guy now?
I would have to lean towards IRS at this point with DiBiase.
Because working the indies can be pretty taxing. Hey-o!
That was actually a nice transition into that roll-up.
Mm-hmm. What is she hitting?
Her hip, maybe? I don't know.
I couldn't tell. This is from that camera view. You cannot tell.
No, because it looked like she was just banging on the canvas.
It's just like, I just saved a bunch of money switching to Geico for my car insurance. Had to. That's like always my like random like thing.
What? You switched to Geico or did you switch to Bel Air Direct?
I'm Canadian. We don't have Geico. And I'm pretty sure I'm direct as it is, so I don't think I got to worry about that. Okay. Yes. For so many reasons, yes. I will just say I'm very happy Jaida Parker is self-aware and knew how to prioritize, how to make it beneficial for her.
Right.
And that is all I'm going to say on that. Because in a weird way, we've already talked about it. But not really talking about it. That, unfortunately, is not direct.
Sorry, I just got a message from Bubba. He's looking for tickets for the CWE show. I don't have any right now, so. But I directed him to somebody who probably will.
Is it Danny Duggan, the owner of the company?
Well, I know Danny would have them.
I mean, it's a pretty direct response.
Yeah.
It's just also very obvious.
No, I directed him to, at least locally, who would be the second most obvious. And that
Roxanne
would be
Perez has directed the official to count to 3 with Pop Rocks, as she has successfully retained her women's championship. Sorry, OMD. But
that was actually a really fun match.
Don't tell me you're so shocked.
No.
Your name's on
spoiled
OMD.
it as I was getting the finish.
Yeah, well. Now you know how it feels like. I like how that guy has a I Believe in Joe Hendry shirt in the Metallica font. Or, sorry, no, that's AC/DC font. I know that because of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Because I thought at first that shirt was a Beavis and Butthead shirt. And then I read it.
Uh-oh.
To the damn T, man.
Well, holy fucking shit.
The shirt says it all.
I do believe Roxanne Perez's championship reign is now, her days are numbered now.
Bobby, I agree. Jaida Parker was a great, solid contender for the championship that belongs to Roxanne Perez. And look at the way Roxanne Perez is holding that championship right now.
Just by doing that, she's showcasing just how big of a star Julia is, because she feels threatened by Julia's presence alone, you know?
It's because she took away her moment.
Yeah.
And I love the cadence shown by Julia right now.
Yeah.
But come on. Bobby, you were in the room. You were in the audience during the Chris Parrish podcast, even for the last 3 weeks. To a T, I called this match 100.
I believe, like, the moment we talked about Julia signing, we knew that it was going to come down to this.
Yeah, but yes. I can be specific how this match was going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And I said we were going to get the fade off with the stare down. I've been watching this company for way too long to know what they're doing.
And I do like the fact that with that fade out, we do have the commercial break. So now it allows us to just let it fester in our brain what we just saw, you know?
I mean, I've been festering it for the last 3 weeks.
This is true.
So we call you Uncle Fester now?
No, I'm a daddy. You call me daddy, all right?
No.
You call me Daddy Fester. Yeah, you drink that Pepsi.
I will. No, I was just more curious on how the crowd was going to react to her more than anything. I think that's always what I care for, is just that reception, that pop. I mean, always as a performer, your number one thing is, do they know who I am? Do they remember who I am? What is going to be that? And then you get out there and you hear it. And that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear the fans of Denver, Colorado respond to what they're seeing, because you're a part of history. You're a part of Julia. And I don't think people realize just how important somebody like Julia is to the WWE females division. Now, is she the end all be all? Absolutely not. But she is a very, very amazing acquisition that, honestly, had AEW been what they were for the first few years of their existence, I don't know if Julia comes to the WWE. With working relationships, if Vince McMahon stays with WWE, I don't think Julia comes with. If Paul Levesque Triple H isn't working with the Marigold production, so many pieces had to fall for this to actually happen.
Yeah.
Why? Because the situation was that complex, but it is here. And we are seeing it. The devotion, the dedication of moving to the States, that is what Julia has done. She is now there. She is now WWE. She is now NXT. And she is now face-to-face the number one threat to Roxanne Perez Women's Championship.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I remember when AEW first started and what they were around then. I do remember talks of Julia going to AEW around that time.
I mean, with their working relationship with Japan, that is something that was an advantage for Tony Khan. Bobby Sass is coming and saying, I recently watched Jaida Parker interview on Muscle Man Malcolm YouTube channel, and she wants a match with TNA talent Jordan Grace. And that could be an idea for a open challenge response.
Yeah.
But now with the news that Jordan Grace's OnlyFans channel is coming to an end, it just leads speculation that Jordan Grace will sign with WWE once her TNA contract is final.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying all signs point to it, because the one thing WWE does not allow its talents to do is have an OnlyFans page. And no, it's not because of the money. Well, the first successor would say that, or would probably have you think that. But it is a corporate and publicly traded company. It is just a bad PR image.
Yes.
And that is why they say no. Hence, an i.e. perfect example, Mandy Rose. And that wasn't even OnlyFans. Also, I'm going to say this. Been very critical of Ava Raine, especially with how she speaks. It seems a little weird. But she has very much suited the role of general manager to NXT. And dare I say, I am very impressed with her performance as the GM. And it makes her feel important to the show without her being a part of the actual show.
I do like how they do present her as a GM. Like, she's not necessarily a part of angles, i.e. like a Vince McMahon or an Eric Bischoff. I do like the fact that when shit goes down, she comes out and settles it and says, okay, you guys are having a match at this show, you know?
Yeah. We're also getting word that on Tuesday we will see Ora Mensah and Lexus King go one-on-one, as well as Hank and Tank versus Rascals versus Gallus for number one contendership for tag team titles.
Yes, and the winner as well, if you guys listen to Ava's announcement, the winner of the main event will defend the title on October 1st in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And we will see Pete Dunne versus Trick Williams on Tuesday as well.
And up next, the match I've been looking forward to the most.
Is that because you're such a huge Trick Williams fan?
Yes.
Yep. We are going to be getting the main event match of the night with Trick Williams serving as the guest referee. Ethan Page is defending his NXT Championship against the man we all believe in Joe Hendry. Let's get our predictions. First best. Let's not worry about what we think it's going to be booked. Let's not think about what we want. Let's listen to our heart right now. This show so far has really gone so much away from our predictions, our thoughts of what it's going to be like. Except for the last match, I predicted that to a fucking T. But how do we feel with our hearts? OMD, I'll go to you first.
Joe Hendry comes out on top.
Chris Best.
Yes, and I'm not saying that because I am a huge fan of his. I'm looking at the way he has risen in popularity, not just on NXT, but in the wrestling world as a whole. I think right now could be the time that you do pull the trigger and put a championship on him, be it the NXT Championship or any championship in TNA, and he would make that title one of the hottest titles in wrestling today. Parrish, how about you?
Ethan Page. You know that scene in Draft Day? Anybody but Vontae Mack, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan Page, no matter what. Right now, regardless of how much Joe Hendry has taken this world by a Jade Cargill, by Storm. I'm bringing back that thing where I use it. But we cannot ignore what Joe Hendry is doing. In fact, we all have to respect what Joe Hendry is doing. But what he is doing is not the best for the NXT Championship right now. Him chasing and being in the spotlight, and when the time is right, and we all know when the time is right. TNA might not know when the time is right. Slammiversary. But WWE does. The time is not right at No Mercy. The time is right later on. Joe Hendry is going to be around for a while. We know this.
Yeah.
Ethan Page is your best antagonist right now. Ethan Page needs this more than people know. Ethan Page cannot be a transitional champion. He cannot be a one-hit wonder. Ethan Page will walk out of this out of No Mercy champion. And it will either be one of two reasons. Why? Because he has help in Josh Alexander. Or Trick Williams does what nobody in the crowd believes in. And that is get jealous of Joe Hendry and turn on.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm wondering because
do we not know when just a few months ago how decisive the fans were about Trick? Just listen to him now. But just like that, they will turn and go to Joe Hendry in the same way. Yeah.
See, and I'm with you there. I understand it, but I see more the Josh Alexander aspect just because you've got the booking of what they've been doing with Trick and Pete Dunne. And we're getting that match on Tuesday, so I can't see them turning Trick in this match.
Because card's subject to change.
I know.
But also, if you wanted to do something that nobody sees coming, you got to go full. You got to go all in. So I'm just going to say people are nuts, and I appreciate them. I am 48 away from 1,000 on Instagram.
Oh, geez.
I was at 700 on Monday.
Right.
I cannot believe that.
So going back to our talk about not necessarily pulling the trigger tonight on Joe Hendry, I do believe that we can keep the Joe Hendry momentum going until NXT's version of WrestleMania, which I look at it as stand and deliver, where you maybe put the title on him then.
We saw the height of the Whoop That Trick popularity really come to fruition at Stand and Deliver. We knew it was rising. We knew it was rising. When the time was right, they really switched. And that the way they made Trick look like $1 million when he became champion was absolutely amazing. Amazing. But they always make their baby faces fight for that.
Yeah.
Has Joe Hendry really fought in the WWE to be champion? Has he really fought that much? Has he really fought adversity the way most baby faces fight? No. Because even Daniel Bryan had some slips becoming champion at WrestleMania 30.
Yep.
And he had a tease. And I'm not saying, well, Joe Hendry is going to have that tease. No.
I'm going to pose another question to you, and this is another former partner of Ethan Page, because I don't know where his contractual status is in another company. Could we see Scorpio Sky?
Scorpio Sky is re-signed with AEW. We did confirm that.
Okay.
On the Chris Van Vliet podcast. I think actually. I listen to a lot of podcasts. See, I was listening a lot to the Trick Williams, Ethan Page backstage segment because I was really wondering if Ethan Page was going to one-up Joe Hendry and say, look, if I walk out champion, you are easily the first person I pick. In fact, I'll defend the title against you right after the match. I would have one up that because if I was him, that's when I would bring out Josh Alexander or something along those lines. Or you would have Trick and then do something to Joe. Joe would then do something to Trick, and you're off and running.
Right.
And for the first time in history, people, a TNA superstar, contracted superstar, is main eventing a WWE PLE.
Yes.
Yeah.
History is being made right now.
There's a bit of a surrealness to this right now.
Right?
What's insane is that a year ago, only the guest referee worked for this company.
Right?
Yeah.
In fact, I can... 6 months ago.
I believe. Yeah.
Let's go even.
I was going to say.
Then again, 6 months ago, we're looking at what, March? And that's when the TNA stuff started it started happening already, but I don't think Joe Hendry did anything yet.
No, I think the only thing that happened was Jordan Grace in the Royal Rumble at that point. We were speculating very heavily on the things that we could see, and a lot of that stuff has actually come true.
I'm waiting. I'm very intrigued with the when was the date of the first either tease or appearance of Joe Hendry?
That would be that battle royal where he got eliminated within 2 minutes of the match starting.
Yeah. By Frankie Kazarian.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I still got to laugh because everybody was like, "Oh, they're burying Joe Hendry with that." I'm like, "Oh no! They're just leaving you with a little bit of a teaser, a little appetizer for Joe Hendry.
They're not burying Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry cut down the entire participants in that ring before he entered it. I would have wanted to eliminate him too had he taken shots at me too. Now, Best, I'm going to open up to you. I have a feeling Bobby Stats is going to be able to pick this one up. Can you name me another pro wrestler in the WWE, whether it's current or in the past, that also shared the initials JH? You have 10 seconds because this should be freaking easy.
Jeff Hardy.
Thank you. OMD, were you that quick on the trigger on that one?
I was not.
That's what she said. That's a compliment, actually.
I literally, like, in my head though, I was like, I ran through the J wrestlers with the first initial J, and then I stopped at like Jeff, and I'm like, oh, Jeff Hardy.
Joe Hendry is so nice putting somebody down before they cover him. It's actually like something I've appreciated.
Totally
like what? Watch it in the replay. Oh, you don't. Damn it. Oh.
You see it just before though.
Not really, because you got to see it the whole way. I love because this match is 100% a throwback, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it already. Hey, imagine if we would have got this match at the original TNA and AEW affiliation, but why would you do anything that would make sense in that one?
Sure. I think around that time, Joe Hendry was in ROH at that time, though, was he not?
No, he was the digital champion.
Oh, that's right too.
How do I outstat you on Joe Hendry right now?
I'm not good with my years, especially in recent years.
Miguel helps Zachary Wentz. See, I was like 50% right on that one. That's what bugs me is like when I'm right there and they just do something else. I wonder if he doesn't win the X Division title, does it change who wins the match?
There's those the what ifs that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that I think were messed up in that AEW TNA relationship. A lot of dream matches that we should have gotten, but we didn't get.
Right. It's not even dream matches. It's just scenarios that would help benefit people to help make them better stars in the future. And I think that is the difference of the mentality of the companies. Whereas like WWE, I think definitely looks towards the future a lot more. And they understand that it's a process. It's not just a result-based sport. It's
right.
You gotta. There's always gonna be a tomorrow. There's yes, WrestleMania happens, but there's always a Raw after. There's always a SmackDown after. Right. And that's To me, I honestly think that that's probably what the main difference is just the fact that one company books 365 days in advance now, and one doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we've speculated to Josh Alexander potentially showing up tonight. We know that Trick and Pete Dunne have this rivalry, and potentially we could see Pete Dunne interfere and take Trick out. Could we see a faction with Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, and Pete Dunne to do cross promotional?
What if Nick Nemeth and JBL show up? We've seen them appear or somehow appear just about everywhere, but not WWE. And how different would it feel if Nick Nemeth shows up in WWE and doesn't go after the name Dolph Ziggler?
Right?
They'd probably refer to him as the man they once called Dolph Ziggler, but then call him Nick Nemeth. I mean, they did the same thing with Ash by Elegance when she showed up.
Yep.
It's funny. I've totally missed my fantasy draft, so I've auto picked. It's my family league too, so this is gonna be. I had no idea who I have. I just got the notification. It's your turn to pick, and it's round 14. Thanks, Yahoo. This is why I hate Yahoo, by the way.
That was a different way to do a dive over the top to the outside. The one thing I'm enjoying about as we see this match, I'm kind of enjoying that hunger and that look on Joe Hendry's face when he knows he's got Ethan Page in the palm of his hands and he's doing everything he can to try and get that win.
Whereas I'm also loving the fact, and we see it right now, Ethan Page is doing everything he can to just take the win, regardless of how it is. If it's a count out, he'll take it.
That's old school heel tactics there.
Mm-hmm.
We got Bobby Stats coming in with a few comments here. He's talking about how he's
I've already
really enjoying. Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, OMD was talking. Thanks for paying attention.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Just kidding.
He's also liking that NXT talents are going to Reality of Wrestling too. I actually really enjoy that too, because again, that's that whole wrestlers coming in to help other wrestlers in other promotions, such as Reality of Wrestling, because Reality of Wrestling is more of an independent promotion. But what if he's also asking, what if Moose shows up on NXT or in WWE?
That is something that we have heard for a while. It is something we have speculated on. We know that Moose and Joe Hendry have a bit of a rivalry in TNA. We know that Josh Alexander has that rivalry. We could absolutely see it.
Oh. And that other ref was quick on the ball running down there.
One is trick, one is quick. That's the way they operate.
I am liking the subtle change of having the podium for the championships now for the title matches on all brands.
Oh, wow.
Trick is quick. So,
Oh. Damn. Much better title match for Ethan Page than when he took the belt from Trick Williams. I will say that.
Yes.
I didn't hate that match.
Neither did I. I didn't hate the Trick Williams match, though, but I didn't care for that finish. And Trick reluctantly puts Ethan Page's arm up. What actually surprises me is that Trick called this entire match down the middle, essentially.
Yes, he did.
It makes sense. But is there going to be an aftermath here?
That's what I'm waiting to see. I do see another match down the road for Ethan Page and Joe Hendry based off of what led to the finish of this match.
And so far, Ethan Page won this match on his own accord.
Yep.
He found a way.
Mm-hmm. And there's the Pete Dunne run-in. Sorry to spoil it for you, OMD.
You literally said it, and I get Pete Dunne.
Okay.
Well, say his name, and he appears. The loser of this match is Joe Hendry. A little foreshadow with Pete Dunne and Ethan Page there as we go off.
As we go off the air. Yeah, literally, I was going to say, just before that foreshadowing happened, I was thinking to myself, is Pete Dunne doing this just because he wants a shot at Ethan Page as well?
I think he did it not during the match. He did it after the match. So I don't know if there's anything with Ethan Page and Pete Dunne. All we know is that he does have a match with Trick Williams, and he attacked Trick Williams. We know that Pete Dunne doesn't play the what ifs. He plays the cards that's dealt, and the cards that he has is Trick Williams. Trick Williams did cost Pete Dunne an opportunity to be the number one contender.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
And now they have a match, so this is now Pete Dunne's response. And Bobby Stats is still saying, I still believe in Joe Hendry.
But yeah, overall, guys, what did you think of that show?
If I'm to rate it out of the 6-pack that I've been doing lately, I'm going to put it I'm going to give it a 4.2.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 3.5 beers out of 6. A lot of the stuff that was on the show was predictable, and predictable is good. Well, except for some of the finishes of the matches. Julia showing up, that was awesome. I loved it. But it is a show I'd probably go back and check out again.
For me, there was nothing bad, really, really negative about this match or about this card. No match completely failed. Wes Lee, Zachary, Wentz had a good match. They just didn't complete the story they were telling for me, and that has a large drop off. For me, I'm still a little underwhelmed with what's next on the main event scale. And I think this is what really can be done to help benefit Ethan Page as a champion. Right now, it completely takes away Joe Hendry. Unless you're going to bring him back as you cheated. And let's face it, we don't want Joe Hendry as that guy in NXT.
No.
Right.
So you can write him off for a while. Now, does he leave? No. But you can write him off for a few weeks and be okay.
Yeah.
I think Oba Femi and Tony D'Angelo absolutely blew expectations out of the water with their match. I think Kelani Jordan was one moment away from, I think, having a match of the night.
Yeah.
I think that little and I don't blame one, I blame the situation. It was what it was. Because I don't think it was Kelani Jordan's fault. I don't think it was Wendy Choo's fault. But they did have a very awkward-looking botch in that match, which really did not help. But other than that, there was nothing to really complain about. But there's also nothing to really say, yeah, this was phenomenal. Nothing went over expectations other than the North American Championship match.
Yeah.
Which I thought, oh, okay, for that, I think that I wanted something more for the main event. Had they gave me a Sean Spears with Ridge, or at least something to think that way, there's just too much open end in this case. And I think that's what causes such a downfall in my rating.
Really, I'm with you on Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz. I think the match under-delivered. I think that was two guys trying to be cruiserweights in a heel versus babyface story, and it didn't work.
Yeah, between Zachary Wentz and oh my God, go ahead, finish your thought, OMD. My brain froze.
For me, I mean, and I'll even agree on Tony D'Angelo and Oba Femi. The person that stood out the most to me tonight in delivering in her match, and I was very down on this person, was Jaida Parker. She delivered. I could actually see a little bit of what is seen in her.
So by that stance, you know how I felt about Blair Davenport.
Jordan?
No, Blair Davenport. And how it was a slow turn for me to finally become a fan of hers. Could you say the same thing as far as Jaida Parker goes?
Yes, but I do still need to watch her more.
Yes, that's
her
what,
more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can see it. And for me, I mean, we did not get an oversaturation of interference in any of the matches. There was nothing oversaturated about this show, and nothing in terms of a really true, oh my God, shocking story moment. And I think that sort of took away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to see interference in every match or the countouts. I love the Ethan Page staying in the ring while Joe Hendry's getting counted out. That was beautiful. So the lack of oh my God moments really detracted from the show for me, which is why I'm going to give it that 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Because there was nothing overly wowing about the show.
No, there really wasn't anything overwhelming about the show, but I do feel like this was a PLE that would have that was designed to not necessarily wrap up storylines, but to continue certain storylines.
Right.
Yeah, and that's something that was very. I think we're not going to come back with a rematch for any of the North American championships. I don't think we're going to come back with a rematch for the tag, nor the women's, nor the men's championship. So yes, in that mind, yeah. The only match I could see maybe having a rematch to it is Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz. Out of all 6 matches, that's the only one I could say, you know what? Maybe they are going to have this match again in some fashion.
Right.
I'm going to suggest this. Now, we've seen this at No Mercy. Do we stretch this storyline and finish it at Impact's Bound for Glory at the end of October?
Which storyline?
There
were 6
and
of them.
Zachary Wentz.
Okay. I think I'd be intrigued in that.
The one we were talking about.
No, it just to me it sounded like OMD went a little bit off the rails there. But no, I would like to see it continue at Bound for Glory. Maybe we do like what you and I have talked about in the past, OMD, and that's 3 arc storylines, similar to what Punk and Drew are doing on the main roster right now.
Right.
And
yeah, I think we did I had fun tonight watching the show, guys, and I appreciate you guys coming on the show as well. But what do you say we get them all socials out there?
Sure.
I think we do it.
Let's start with you.
Yeah, let's start with
If
me.
we must.
Yeah, youtube.com at CBRS Entertainment. You can find me, twitch.tv CBRS_entertainment, threads.net at CBestFilms83, facebook.com Chris.best83, tiktok.com CBRS.entertainment. Parrish, I realized you said OMD, but you had a little bit of a hiccup there, and I didn't hear OMD, so I thought you were referring to me. So let's head on to OMD right now.
The people can find me live on the Book of Faces, Daniel Harisic, HRYCYK. On Snapchat, One Man Dynamic, capitals on OM&D. On Twitch at OMD17 and on Discord at OMD6370. And over to you, Mr. Parrish.
Unless Chris has more to say.
I was going to say last but not least.
You can follow me on my link tree, linktr.ee/Chris Parrish. You can see all the socials, including the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitch. Oh, why did I specify 3? Because that is where you can find me every Sunday at 12:15 p.m. with the Chris Parrish podcast, with this week being episode 40. We're turning 40, and we all know that 40, you feel so young again. But if you're feeling 40 and you don't have the energy, that is okay. Make sure you go to rogueenergy.com. You can use my promo code Parrish, PERISH, at checkout for that 10% off. And make sure you're checking me out with these guys, including Carl Carafell, maybe Bubba if he decides that, he wants to put in the work tomorrow. And join us for the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
And on that note, OMD, what are those famous words that Carl Carafell leaves us with?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, in the words of Carl Carafell, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at the Boar's Nest and Turnbuckle Studios, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
For my just another day, waiting for the sun to shine in vain. Welcome to my world, yeah. This is my broken world. The silent whispers of the frozen air. It's dragging me